Now let's do some examples of how to figure out intervals and their qualities. So what's the first rule of intervals? That's to divide the task into its two halves. Find the interval number by counting letters or scale steps, and then find the quality. So let's divide a task into its two halves. So if you look at C to E there, we're going to try to figure out the quality and the number. So for the number, C to E traverses three letters, C, D, E, and so it's a third. But now let's think about the quality. Well, it's the larger version of that third, so that means it's the major third. And that's how we know that C to E is a third, and not only a third, but a major third. But how do you know the quality? Well, you can always count half steps and then memorize this large chart that's in the reading. But let me give you a rule of thumb. If it's the interval that you'd get above the tonic in a major key, it's major or perfect. If it's lower than what you would be if it were in a major key, then it's a minor or a diminished interval. So, for instance, C to E is some kind of third. If C was scale degree 1, would E be scale degree 3? Yes. So it's a major third. B flat to F is going to be some kind of fifth. B, C, D, E, F traverses 5 steps. It's some kind of fifth. If B flat was scale degree 1, would F be scale degree 5? Yes. Now, you might think that this is a major fifth, but remember that fifths are perfect, so it's a perfect fifth. But what would B flat to F sharp be? Well, since it's the interval that's 1/2 step bigger than perfect, it's an augmented fifth. So G to E flat. Now we're talking about some kind of sixth. If G was scale degree 1, would E flat be scale degree 6? No. E natural would be scale degree 6. Since E is a 1/2 step lower than what would be scale degree 6, it's a minor sixth. Now what would G sharp to E flat be? Well, since the interval would be smaller than a minor sixth, we raise that lower note by 1/2 step. It's a diminished sixth. If G, regular old G to E flat is a minor sixth, if we take that G and move it up a 1/2 step to G sharp, we've decreased the size of the interval. And so it's going to be a diminished sixth. So let's see this at work in a few more examples. C up to F is a perfect fourth. If we took that F and pushed it up to F sharp, we go from a perfect fourth to a augmented fourth. But if we take that F and pushed it down to an F flat, we'd be talking about a diminished fourth. Now look down at that second line. If C to F is a perfect fourth, if we increased its size by taking the C down to a C flat, it would become a augmented fourth. Now if we make an augmented fourth even bigger by taking that F and moving it up to F sharp, we'd have a doubly augmented fourth, and if we took a diminished fourth and made it even smaller, we'd have a doubly diminished fourth, but those are ugly intervals that we're not really going to be talking much about in this class. Let's look at C to A. C going up to A is a major sixth, because if C was scale degree 1, A would be scale degree 6, but also C to A traverses 9 1/2 steps. C to A sharp would therefore be an augmented sixth because it's a 1/2 step bigger than a major sixth. C to A flat would be a minor sixth because it's 1/2 step smaller than a major sixth. And then, if we took that C and moved it up by 1/2 step to C sharp, we would get a diminished sixth because it's even smaller than a minor sixth because we've taken that C and moved it up, and so the interval in total gets smaller. C to A double flat would be another version of a diminished sixth. C sharp to A double flat would be a doubly diminished sixth. C flat to A sharp is a doubly augmented sixth. These are all gross intervals, again, that we won't deal too much about this semester, but the point being that you can move voices around to get increasingly larger numbers of your interval number. So these are all sixths, they're just different qualities of sixths because we've taken that C and that A and moved them different directions further or closer to one another.